All right, I started the recording. It's State of the WWE episode 71. This is gonna be casual. Like, I don't even. That's why I started it, because I said, let's just have us talking. Who cares? And unfortunately, I'm using a banner with Finn Balor and Roman Reigns on it. And OKFabe, you're missing from the photos. But OKFabe, Connor from OKFaber, OKFabe is here. Is that weird now that it's OKFaber? Does that throw you off?
It aggravates the fuck out of me, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It really pisses me off, because I'm like, register the name. It's like, okay, who else took it?
Yeah, that sucks. Let's get a hacker and we'll take care of them. Maybe we'll just hire a hacker and
it's like
we'll
that
fuck
Square.
them up.
It's like that Square ad with John Malkovich or whatever. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Where he's trying to get to johnmalkovich.com and it says unavailable, and then he puts 4 or 5 different variations in there, and it's still unavailable, and he goes,
yeah, that's what it feels like sometimes.
He screams, "Get off my fucking name!"
That's
awesome. Really funny.
You know what? Unplug your cell phone, Bailey. You did that humming thing. That.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay if it doesn't.
Now?
Fuck it. If it does it, whatever. Yeah. Well, all right. So let me bring up the first topic here. We've been talking a little while about some stuff, and
Seth Rollins.
And believe it or not, Justin Bailey and Dave Rose hasn't attempted to kill each other.
Not yet. We still got plenty of show.
There is hope.
See me try to just start
I'm sure
shit.
We can keep it professional for 45 minutes.
So I would absolutely be. Let me first off talk about the thing that I just made a video on. I personally would be disappointed and disgusted if I saw Batista versus Triple H at WrestleMania. I don't know how anybody else feels.
There's no.
Is that rumor?
I felt just as disgusted when I'd seen that headline, because that really is something that is stomach churning.
I didn't get a chance to see the video yet, Joe, but how? I thought Batista made it pretty. Yeah, I thought Batista made it pretty clear in numerous interviews. Yeah, they screwed me over.
Yeah, that's just come out. I think it's just an.
Is this Meltzer who said this?
I think it's a started rumor.
Okay, there we go.
Well, you know what though, Connor's right. Especially with the fact that Batista's been publicly bashing WWE for how long now, and if he comes to WrestleMania to face Triple H, they're gonna have to pay him quite a bit of money. They're not gonna pay this guy after what he's been saying for a year to come wrestle Triple H. It's not gonna happen.
Why wouldn't they just? I just don't understand. Wouldn't you just get Kurt Angle to wrestle him? I mean, at this point,
it might be Vince. We were talking about this.
I wouldn't even like that though. Kurt Angle and Triple H. I don't think, because it doesn't make any sense.
No, Kurt's I went back and watched some of his stuff over the winter. I was shocked at how great a shape he's in. I was very surprised.
I don't deny his physical shape that he's in. I just think that if Kurt's going to come, I think his purpose would be better benefited in a different story. I've already dug in with Rollins thing. I think they can still capitalize on something here.
Well, to be fair,
I think the Batista
also
thing is bunk. I think it's just been thrown out there to throw people off, and it's creating this discussions on non-existent issues. It's not going to happen. Again, Batista has made it clear, but more importantly, it's not about his comments. It's the fact that he's just been very successful living outside the wrestling industry, and Triple H, his influence, as limited as it might, realizes that there's no reason or point to have this sort of thing. So he's going to be working towards putting, not having this happen. It's nonsensical. And I think it's a total distraction, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
that match will happen. John Cena versus Randy Orton's going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Man, I'll tell you. Is anybody else anybody else having these connection issues on Skype? Can you guys hear each other, or is it fading for you guys too?
I'm good on my end.
Okay,
I hear everybody fine.
I think it's just me then. Which is too bad. But oh well. I was
going to say, this is the same company that also pulled Undertaker versus Shane McMahon in Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. Legitimately, the first week they're building to the actual pay-per-view.
Right. Well, now that you could get Shane versus AJ Styles, so what will that match be? Will that just be a wrestling match, or will they have a street fight?
It's got to be a street fight. You can't put Shane in a technical match. And I'm saying that to bash Shane.
How solid is that, though? Because I think that's a plant, too.
That's something else I wanted to add on, is that is there any validity to this? And even so, could they even pull it off? Because from the few little discussions that AJ Styles and McMahon had. Is there even a point to follow a story like this? It just doesn't make sense.
You'll be forced, you know, Connor. Like Connor, you said, you know, you didn't put me on the poster and you've been against me this whole time. So it'll be this whole thing of he's mad that they're against him. They've held him down. They're the reason he lost. Shane's the reason he lost the title, you know?
I think they've they've kind of planted some seeds, which WWE is very notorious for doing, is planting seeds for rivalries and feuds that end up ultimately going nowhere. So they could pull it out of almost, you know, any couple of different points, including that one. Honestly, I think that even though that match is a bit of a head scratcher, I think it would be extremely entertaining. It would make a whole hell of a lot of sense. But I think, like, if they did it the right way, if they did it like a street fight, you know, with the way that Shane can sell moves, and AJ can sell moves, I think that'd be a pretty interesting highlight. I don't think it would be
Connor,
great.
Let's be honest. They said the same thing about Shane and Undertaker, and although it was
touche,
I guess, an entertaining match to a certain extent, how did it advance any storyline?
Oh, not at all. No, I'm not looking at it from a storyline perspective whatsoever. I think it's a dumpster fire, and it's just an excuse to get AJ on the card, which is a sad thing to say considering how well he's been in the last year as champion. I completely agree with that, Dave. But I think just the match alone could be at least entertaining in that, right? Which at WrestleMania, for me, it's a little more forgivable. But you're right. It's like no storyline advancement whatsoever. I agree with that.
And the thing about AJ, too, is last week, like his 1-year debut in WWE. So just think about that for a second. The career the guy's had in the first year he's been here with, like Connor said, with the WWE title run. And like Dave said, with the story aspect of that. As far as AJ goes, he should not be in a match with Shane McMahon. I don't want to see that. There's something he could do so much better than Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. And to be honest with you, I don't want to see Shane McMahon anywhere near the card on WrestleMania.
Well, this may not be the match that we want to see, but it could end up being the match that we end up loving seeing. That's the thing about Shane and AJ Styles. This match could be something going and we're like, what the fuck? Why is this happening? But when it does happen, we could come out saying that was the best match at WrestleMania. And this WrestleMania reeks to me of a reflection of what Raw's been the entire year, which is week to week, the stories just don't matter at all. But when we get to the pay-per-view, you're interested to see the match now. That's what WrestleMania is going to be. I feel like we're going to go into WrestleMania like almost depressed, it seems like. And if the WrestleMania is good, then it will be like, wow, that ended up working out. The matches were great. You'll go back and watch them forever, and you'll never remember any build-up, but you'll go back and watch them. And if it's terrible, if it's bad, if it's even a little worse than last year or as good as last year, it will be a bomb. It will just be a stinker. Like nobody will ever. And the last few years, build-ups have been terrible. So this year is really like, because this is stuff, dude, I said this in my last video, they built 6 months for this friggin' thing to happen, and now Seth Rollins, it isn't happening. This is almost, no one's really talking about this, I feel like, but this is almost like what would happen if, I know that it's different because you announced John Cena versus The Rock a year before, and then it happened. But they basically announced, Seth Rollins and Triple H against each other 6 months ago. Like, we basically knew.
And they wanted to do it last year, too.
Right. Oh, what?
Seth Rollins? Wish they did. They
wanted to do Rollins and Triple H last year.
Oh, they should have now. Yeah, now it looks stupid. But they wanted to. They were like, oh, well, let's hold off till WrestleMania, and it's unbelievable that right as the build starts, it goes.
Well, remember Rollins got injured. What was it? Last October or November?
Yep.
In Ireland.
October.
Was it Ireland?
Yep. Yeah, it was Ireland. It was the KANE match in the spot where he was trying to do the sunset flip powerbomb off the turnbuckle.
It was through the table, wasn't it?
Way too much.
My head. I'm shaking my head just reliving that moment where I just realized it was totally unnecessary. When you look what he ended up doing in that match, he could have done a very easy chop or punch, accomplished the same thing, and not even have come close to injuring himself. It was just so unnecessary.
Why wouldn't he have just slid under his legs and then just picked him up for the powerbomb that way?
One of my friends mentioned that if you looked at the house shows that Seth had been doing for the last, I think, 3 months as champion, 95% of them were either street fight, no DQ, or something of that variety. It's like, well, why would you do that?
Did you see the match?
I'm not talking just like Raw, SmackDown. I'm talking like.
Did you see what happened yesterday?
Saw the match. It was like.
No. Did you see what happened yesterday? There's a video of Kevin Owens' street fight from the other day. Did you see that?
Oh, jeez.
Somebody sent it to me. Someone goes, "This is why you don't miss WWE live events." The match has all of a sudden become a street fight, and they showed me the video of the WWE live event. Somebody sent it to me on Twitter, and it was Kevin Owens. Who the hell was he wrestling? Was he wrestling Seth Rollins? No, he might have been. Yeah, oh no, it wasn't Seth. It was shit. I don't know. It just happened. Someone sent it to me the other day, and I can't remember now. But I know that Kevin Owens
wasn't he wrestling Sami Zayn on house shows?
It was Sami Zayn. It is Sami Zayn. Thank you. It's Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, and I'm telling you what, dude, you have to see this. Somebody tweeted it to me the other day, so it's up on Twitter, still in the feed somewhere.
The match in full.
Sami Zayn goes through 3 tables. Kevin Owens goes through 2 tables. Kevin Owens gets suplexed in between 2 steel chairs that didn't look like that were not stunt chairs. Then he gets suplexed through a chair that is a stunt chair, and it breaks it into pieces. Then there's 2 more chair spots, 3 back shots to the back with a chair shot, and random ones. Not one of those I'm laying down, now hit me in the back. It was bam, kick to the gut, grabs the chair, then smashing him in the back with it. I mean, then diving over the ropes to the outside through the table. There was I'm telling you, go watch it. There is at least 10, if you add them up, 10 weapon spots, like whether it's a table or a chair. Wow. It's incredible. And the match was awesome, and the crowd was loving it. But it's
also the Road to WrestleMania tour as well right now, so they do like to amp it up a little bit.
Yeah, but it's just, and it's, hey, whatever, wrestlers are gonna do whatever, but I'm just saying that it's very interesting. It's pretty brutal for a WWE live event that is packed about 65% of the house.
Damn.
I mean, that's. I looked in the upper area, the upper mid area is empty. The upper area is empty, and you're just thinking man, they sold about 65% of this place out, and you would think this is fucking hell in the cell right now.
I read somewhere that right now the house shows does Raw and SmackDown, do they do combined house shows? Because I'm not even for sure.
Yeah.
I went to the Boston one at the end of December. It was Raw only.
Okay, so from what I read the other day, I read an article that the Raw house shows right now, the current main event is Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. And Zayn versus Kevin Owens is semi. Think about that for a second. Semi main event. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. I want you to let that sink in for a second.
I'm assuming it's for the title, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. So the house show I went to was at the end of December, and the main event was advertised throughout the entire evening. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the Universal title. This is, of course, when Roman had the U.S. title. And at the last minute, they bait and switch and say it's for the U.S. So, yeah, you're right. So you know exactly what's going to happen. It's like Roman's going to go over. Kevin's going to keep the belt. I'm like, that's kind of sad, really, that they're not even going to put the friggin' belt on the line or anything fun or special. It was just.
I mean, think about it, though, Connor. Like Braun and Roman, neither one of them have a strap.
Yeah, that's yeesh.
So how much do you wish to belittle your belt on house shows? People look at that red Fruit Loop thing or whatever you want to call it, fucking fruit roll up, and they're like, well, what does that belt mean? It's not even headlining the show. That might as well be the women's belt.
Yeah,
I don't know. It bothered me when I read that article. I got to be honest with you. Like why Braun and Roman made him in a house show when your fucking brand champion is on the card to wrestle, and now what Joe's saying, a street fight against Sami Zayn. They have more charisma and talent in their fucking pinkies than Braun or Roman do in their whole body. But yet they're not.
It's like watching 2 slabs of meat just slap each other, basically.
Yeah. And I'm in the camp that I'm okay with Roman Reigns as far as a wrestler. I think he's a really good worker. I have no problem with his work. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. And I'm not even bored by his matches. I'm aggravated by his push. I don't have a problem with him in that sense, but
they really should have pushed Sami Zayn versus Owens for the title at WrestleMania, and they should have built it they should have had Zayn win the Rumble. I'm convinced of that because SmackDown doesn't need it.
Said that Kevin Owens and Sami are wrestling right now in house shows because they're wanting to get a feel for maybe that being the match at WrestleMania. That's what's rumored, that Sami gets the belt from Jericho at Fastlane. That Sami wins the belt there, and then Kevin Owens loses the belt to Goldberg, and in some double switch, there's Kevin Owens fighting Sami for the U.S. belt because Chris Jericho's not able to do so.
that's a little backwards. But I mean, I would be fine with Owens versus Zayn at WrestleMania. But that's just really.
There's a lot of economics in between that booking where you're like, wait, what?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
wait
it's just
that would feel so forced, but
there's a lot of things right now on Raw that feel forced. To be fair, I mean, just that is so backwards. I'm sorry, that Universal title is freaking cursed. They do not know how to. That's my biggest gripe, is that they have not treated that belt. Forget Kevin Owens' run. They have not treated that belt with any sort.
Hello?
Fruit roll up, dude.
It looks like a redskin alligator purse.
It looks like an alligator purse, is right.
Dude, you got fruit roll up? No, that's my title.
Let me rip off some of this for you here. I just eat it all the time.
I think if
you take it down in Nabisco, they'll put more on it, and I put it back together every night.
Listen, you put John Cena on Fruity Pebbles, you might as well put whoever the Universal Champion is on the back of Fruit by the Foot.
Fruit by the Foot. That's what I was thinking of, was a Fruit by the Foot.
Oh my God, it's
Kevin
ugly.
Owens. And then at WrestleMania, as Goldberg's walking with the belt, he just puts it off in a trash can.
This match brought to you by Fruit by the Foot.
You just look at that UK belt and you're like, that's a title. I don't know what that is. Make that. I mean, and it's like, I don't even like the plain, the old world title, the WCW belt. It's like, I mean, I do. It's iconic, but I don't. But it's like, it doesn't need to be that plain. It doesn't need to be that gold. It doesn't need to, but it also doesn't have to be a cartoony looking WWE logo. I mean, I guess it's better than the spinny belt. It does if
you want to sell toys.
Well, it's not the spinny belt anymore, I mean,
no, but every belt, now you've got one die for every belt. Yeah. So you can easily produce toys of different colors and still pump out those products.
I mean, hell, that's why they had the shark cage thing at the Rumble. I don't know if anybody knows this, but the reason they had the they were
selling a toy.
No, go ahead.
Right, they were selling a new ring set with a shark cage. I'm like, because I was wondering, where in their head and mind did they come up with that? And I'm not kidding you. During Raw, they did a commercial for. I'm like, okay, it all makes sense now.
Oh, there were so many problems with that match. You don't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
The match with Kevin Owens versus Roman with the shark cage and Jericho. And there's so much wrong with that.
It wasn't too bad.
I didn't think it was that bad.
No. I'm not talking about the match quality. I'm talking about the match
build.
The build and then the overall booking of the match and like the certain spots. Like, I don't understand how people think. I mean, I don't know if we actually want to talk about this, but I just think that it's a fucking no disqualification match. Yet when Jericho drops the brass knuckles out of the cage, that's supposed to be some special moment. That made no fucking sense at all.
I said that he should have dropped the U.S. title belt down there. To me, that would have made a lot more sense. But yeah, it just.
But it would have been more impactful if it was not a no disqualification match, because then if he drops the belt, it's more impactful. Like, well, you can't use that. That's not fair. Blah.
Yeah,
like,
no, you're right.
The whole point.
Right, it would have been a bait and switch. Yeah, no, I agree. I think the no DQ thing was just a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah.
So looking at the WrestleMania,
the match itself was fantastic, though.
Yeah, it was all right. It was pretty good. It wasn't. It was. I don't remember actually everything, but I do remember. I thought it was all right. I remember thinking like, oh, that was okay.
It wasn't really a match so much as it was just them beating the crap out of each other. But.
Well, it was the better match of one of the better matches of the night, other than obviously Cena and AJ Styles. That was the match of the night. But I think the women's match at the beginning, I remember what it was. I think I gave the women at the beginning, I think I gave that like a 6 or a 5.5. I gave that like a 5.5, and then I think I gave Owens' match like a 7, and then I gave Cena and Styles probably like a 9 or something.
That match stole the show.
We knew it was going to though.
Right. Now,
when you think about the match they had at Money in the Bank, right? Then their match at SummerSlam, and then you see that match like of the trilogy. It's like that was the match that won at the Rumble. Even with Cena winning, like that was still the best one of all of them.
Yeah, I don't understand where the hate from Cena came back from all of a sudden, especially after that match. Like I saw an influx of people like absolutely hating him. Like you see him in that match and you can still like really.
Yeah, from a Mark standpoint, I was pissed because I love AJ Styles, but I wasn't upset at the booking decision. I was just mad that AJ lost. You know what I mean? In the sense, as a fan, I wanted AJ to win. But overall, I get it.
That same thing happens to me all the time where it's like I have to try to separate, like, what am I? It was like after the Rumble when I was like tweeting crazy shit. It's like I was upset, kind of, but at the same time, you heard more of the fan of me than the actual like review of the show, because the next day, I would give that Rumble. That was the better Rumble of the last. Well, the entire Rumble show was better, I think, than the last few years. But yeah, that ending kind of still was a little bit underwhelming, unfortunately. I mean, the ending, I think the ending was better when Triple H won, because but maybe not, because everyone thought Roman Reigns is gonna win. And then all of a sudden, for him to go to spear Orton, it's like, oh, here we go. And then all of a sudden, he gets RKO'd and then immediately eliminated. I mean, that was kind of a swerve, It was...
I've got a video coming out about the whole the Roman Taker rumor they're doing for Mania, and the one thing that I even said this
in my baby.
And this is the thing that I'm really scratching my head about, and I even said this in this video, and I think I said in my Rumble review too, is supposedly the reason that they put Roman in and the spot they did and the way they booked they did. And this is the part that really just kind of makes me scratch my head. Obviously, they want us to like Roman. They really want us to like Roman a lot, like really badly, clearly, which is fine. I get that. I understand that to some degree. And there's, pushback, but whatever. So you have his reaction and he comes out number 30, and just the sea of boos. And I'm telling you, and I got to stress this, when I was at Mania last year, holy crap, 100,000 people booing him. I just could not stop laughing my ass off. But in any case,
well, plus because all the face things he did too. It's like he spears Stephanie, this evil woman with her husband.
Like, I couldn't hear a single cheer at all. Like, how you're like nope, I couldn't hear anything. And I'm just like, I just hear a sea of ooh.
Imagine if it was WrestleMania 8 and they put that same build on Hulk Hogan. Like, it would be the opposite. It would be like people would be tearing the house down for Hogan, and I hope Stephanie McMahon, if she got speared, that place would have, it would have really exploded. Like, but yeah, it's so funny. They try to force it with Roman, and it's like just nuts. Like a parallel universe. Anyway, sorry.
But the part that really confuses me is like, okay, Roman comes in, boo the hell out of him. He eliminates Undertaker. Obviously, it's going to get a boo reaction, clearly, which is okay, yeah, whatever. And then he takes out Bray, and then Orton takes him out. And supposedly the reason they booked him that way was because they wanted to get Randy Orton to get a babyface reaction.
Of course.
What? So they're aware of the. It's irritating.
Yeah, they literally
fantastic.
They sent Roman out there to troll the fans. It's the funniest thing. They sent him out there to troll the fans so they could guarantee that Randy would get a face reaction. It's the funniest fucking thing ever. They were like,
Joe thought the same thing that night too. We knew that they used Roman Reigns to help bait Randy Orton to get that big pop at the end of the night. And Connor, the funny thing about the Taker with Roman thing, you're right. They want us to love Roman Reigns so bad, but they had him throw out the dude that is over every year more than anyone. And he chucks out the Undertaker, which, by the way, he needed to be thrown the fuck out of there because I thought he was going to keel over any second.
Yeah, I'm a huge Taker mark, and even I admitted, like, wow, that's just even funnier, like with the long ramp where a good chunk of the men had to use a golf cart in order to get themselves down to the ring. And I actually said when the gong went off, I'm like, well, I might as well go take a piss because it's gonna take him at least an hour and a half to get to the damn ring. But then and then we all forgot that Undertaker has magic powers and like instantly like came in the ring, which really makes me question how the hell like long he was staying underneath the ring. Yeah. But that's another just side note. But
he was napping.
Probably.
That's why he looks so rusty.
Some of the
it's my damn number.
Some of the buildings have an entrance underneath, and some of them don't. But yeah, some of the so sometimes
trapdoor.
Sometimes.
Hey, can you poke Taker with a stick? It's his number's coming up. Like just nudge him. Just nudge him. Well, his alarm didn't go off.
Just imagine him watching it.
He hit the snooze button a couple of times under there. Just poke him with a stick.
My leg fell asleep.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's doing snow. I'd be doing snow angels. My leg.
You think he rolls his eyes back in his head when he sleeps?
What if he had a medical emergency under the ring? You know what I mean? Like something was really going wrong and he knew it. Like he just tries to run out of the ring and like stumble around like, call the doctors.
Oh jeez.
That'd be terrible. Like think about that happening.
Remember the Rumble.
Remember. No, I love the Undertaker, but he was coming off that surgery.
Yeah, I love how the promo for that was "Remember the Rumble." Just don't remember that one in 2004. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, they wanted a stupid play on that Alamo Dome crap. I didn't even realize that until like the day before, and I was like, "Oh, the Alamo, I get it now."
Yeah.
Fucking stupid. Real quick, I want to take a break to shout out to Connor, who's here from OKFabe. Check out his YouTube channel, youtube.com/OKFaber now, right?
Yep.
And then
as it is,
or just type in OKFabe and search. You'll find Connor.
Yeah, you'll find me.
If you want to find Justin Bailey, many of you know, but if you haven't, you might be new. You got to go over to Justin Bailey's channel. He's got this Raw's Retro and remembering fucking Nitro. What the fuck is it called?
Monday Night Retro.
There we go. I'm just kidding. I knew what it was. I just wanted you to say it.
Remembering the fucking Nitro.
It was great. It's great to listen to. Even if you never watched Nitro, you're just like, I want to watch it now with Justin. So go to the Best There Is podcast. That's his YouTube channel. The Best There Is podcast. Play on Bret the Hitman Hart. Of course, you'll find it. And Dave Rose is here, but he don't have a channel anymore. He just comes over here and helps me. Right, Mr. Canada?
Indeed.
Also want to let you guys know that you can get a percentage off if you go to the link down below. It's lootcrate.com/Joe Cronin Show. Go to lootcrate.com/Joe Cronin Show. Use coupon code Joe sent me, and you'll get a percentage off of your Slam Crate, your WWE Slam Crate that's bi-monthly. And I've heard from a lot of people that they enjoy it, but I've also heard from other people that they're excited for the next one because the last one, they didn't like the first one. People like the second one a lot better, I think. But it's been doing all right, so I recommend grabbing it a couple times, see how you like it, open that box up, and check it out. That is it for the plugs. Otherwise, if you want to support me on Patreon, it's patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. And let's continue. I think Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar that's just imminent. I mean, we know that one's probably happening, absolutely.
Is it going to be for the title?
Yes.
Yeah, there's
yeah,
I guess
that's the reaction.
Well, Paul Heyman basically announced it.
I mean, really? Well, because
Brock did the challenge at on Raw, but did he mention the title?
But there's no title. I mean, what? You mean Goldberg's going to win the title?
He mentioned the fact that they've got unsettled business and that finish it.
Yeah.
So Brock Lesnar.
Oh, okay. We thought you were talking about that it was
for the Universal title.
That it's going to be for the title.
No, you said Brock Lesnar and Goldberg.
Well, people are believing
the title. In regards to the title, I think that they've actually both taken themselves out of that contention because again, you've got this whole unsettled business, and both of them are pissed off for losing and stuff. But they seem to have established a storyline that's going to continue with them, as opposed to having any involvement with that title.
I disagree with the with the people that are writing on like WrestlingInc.com has their speculation of WrestleMania 31. They say Goldberg champion versus Brock Lesnar. I don't think Goldberg's gonna be a champion. Why do
we'll find out tomorrow. He's on Raw, so
they don't need that.
I agree, but I think he's definitely going to be Universal Champion walking into Mania.
Oh my God!
I don't think they need it. I think the belt needs it.
I agree with that.
Yeah, the belt needs something, but again, it always goes back to like people like say, "Oh, Goldberg, Kevin Owens is a failed champion." It's like, no, I don't really believe it's Kevin Owens. I believe it's how he's been written. It's the
belt. That's booking.
Yeah. The belt sucks, and the booking sucks, and the storylines suck. So everything sucks. Kevin Owens does not suck for some reason. Russo and some of these other people, especially other people that I can't even think of off the bat now, but I remember reading their shit, and I'm like, this doesn't mean Kevin Owens sucks. It means the writing sucks. It doesn't matter who's got the belt. And honestly, I mean, the only thing that makes the belt interesting if Goldberg has it is the fact that Goldberg has it. And once again, it's still not good writing. It's just going to be that, Goldberg is the champion, and the champion would be with Goldberg. And so that elevates the title, but it allows them to still be lazy writers and shitty decision makers because they put the belt on a guy who's more over than the belt.
Instantly, when you put that belt on Brock or Goldberg, bam, the belt has meaning. Because those guys are larger than life competitors, superstars, whatever you want to call them. People know when they're on camera or on the Monday Night Raw, whatever it is, pay-per-view, that it's got a big feel to it.
I'm forced to agree with this, and in fact, I actually think, and when I first saw it, I didn't agree with it, but I eventually start to realize the genius of it. Having a title on a part-timer like Goldberg or like Brock Lesnar not only gives it legitimacy, but it keeps it out of the spotlight enough so that it becomes one of those things that people strive for. It's like, I want that opportunity to get that title.
Right.
And you don't have that distraction on the show where some storyline could potentially be played out properly.
It's not overexposed.
Exactly.
Yeah. It makes it seem like an exciting moment.
This is important. This is important. It's not just that it's not overexposed. It's also not thrown to the wayside or diminished or disrespected like we currently see with the Universal title, which basically means nothing.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I mean, when Brock was champion, I really liked it because, way back in the day, and I'm talking like way, way back, it was a big deal when the champion was at the show, not even wrestling, just if he was there. And that, to me, made the belt seem very valuable. But now you see the championship almost every single week, sometimes in non-title matches, sometimes it's on a weekly match. It kind of, to that point of overexposing. So if you put it on a part-timer where they're not there all the time, that means when they are, them and subsequently the championship is a big effing deal. And it gives the idea that the belt is a big effing deal.
Well, they're treating Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, honestly, like Intercontinental champions. They're just out there. They have to be out there carrying the show as the champion. Yep. Whereas, back in the day,
it doesn't help when Kevin's with the person next to the person and best friends with the person who's the most over person on Raw right now.
Right.
Jericho's the most over person on Raw as a heel, yet everyone's cheering for him like he's a babyface. So that doesn't really help him either. But yeah, it's a melting pot of different reasons. But I don't think Kevin's the problem. I think it's just everything else revolving around it.
Yeah, it's not him.
And the thing is, you said you enjoyed, Lesnar being like, when he held the belt, there was like a time when he didn't defend it for like literally 3 months. Well, if people didn't like that or they did like that, you probably better make peace with it because I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen at WrestleMania.
But hold on. What was happening at that point?
He's going to get his win back over Goldberg.
What was happening at that point when he wasn't on TV and 3 months we're not seeing that title? Everyone is scratching at that opportunity to get access to that title.
I agree. I'm okay with the champion not showing up every single week. I agree with the belt not being defended on Monday Night Raw once a month or something. When Brock Lesnar does show up, like I think he was gone from that fucking horrible stretch where it's like Payback, Money in the Bank, and Battleground, and then there's SummerSlam or whatever. He was gone for that. But at SummerSlam, who did he defend that belt against at SummerSlam? Because remember, it was a big fucking deal. Wasn't it Seth Rollins? No, it wasn't Seth Rollins.
Wait a minute, Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Randy Orton?
Wasn't it Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins cashed in?
Yeah, Brock won it at SummerSlam.
That's it.
He defended it again. He beat Cena at SummerSlam. They had the rematch where Seth interfered and then everything went to crap. Then they did the triple threat. He didn't defend it again until the Rumble.
Oh, my God. The match at Rumble, the triple threat, yes, with Cena, Rollins, and Lesnar, match of the year candidate. Amazing. Sorry, just had to throw that out.
And then they did the triple. Then they did Roman versus Brock, and then that's when Seth cashed in.
Oh, that was WrestleMania. Sorry, that was WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
That was a great match too, by the way. That match doesn't get enough praise. That Roman versus Brock match. That match was fantastic.
Well, not only does Wrestling Inc. have Wrestling Inc. has Goldberg as the champion versus Lesnar, but they've also got Bray Wyatt as the WWE champion versus Randy Orton.
Yeah, I think that as well. I do think that Bray takes it at Chamber.
Yeah.
I think the big story for Mania is going to be that Wyatt family. Just think about that video package you're going to get. It's going to be fantastic.
It actually only makes sense that way because you want to see, or there seem to be gearing towards that where you got this redemption from Randy Orton. He turns on the Wyatts. He wins the title. And again, they gave him this sort of gift as being a headliner. So to me, it just seems logical that that's the direction that it's going in.
Yeah, I think Bray wins the championship. Or I think Bray actually wins at Mania. Over Orton.
I was going to say
I don't think Orton wins it. I think Bray goes over.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Bray's going to keep it. It's their best written thing they've got on SmackDown right now, and I got to give him props and praise for.
So correct me here because I honestly think that Bray Wyatt is going to be winning the Chamber, getting that title, and then basically losing it at WrestleMania against Orton because he's.
I think what it is Bray wins the title at Chamber. Orton faces him at Mania, and whether Bray goes over via help from Luke Harper or you know, a returning Rowan, whatever it is, I think Bray walks out still champion.
Yeah, I agree with Justin.
But hold on, with the purpose of what? To continue the feud with Randy Orton or to create some other sort of contention?
I think overall it solidifies Bray Wyatt as a big deal.
Yeah.
Because he was rumored to have the big run in 2016. That got shut down. And it's been rumored that he was supposed to have his big run this year, and I think this is going to be it. But as far as what you're asking, does the storyline continue with Orton? Yes, I think that goes to July, maybe even all the way to SummerSlam. I'm not saying it should last that long, but I do see that storyline going pretty far.
I'll be the first person to say that Bray Wyatt has so been owed the title for the longest time, and
Absolutely.
I still think that he is one of those individuals that could replace, not fully, The Undertaker as sort of this supernatural character that, you know, resonates with children and adults alike and could be considered one of these sort of unstoppable forces. Never going to fill in the Undertaker's shoes, but that being said, he's it's so overdue for him to get that recognition and to be basically this sort of stable to the roster.
He just should have had he didn't even need the title. He just needed a run of this amazing
He just needed a win.
Legitimacy.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
To copy off what Justin said, I've heard the same thing in terms of they were aiming to make Bray champion numerous times. I've heard something really out there, and take this for whatever amount of grain of salt you want, but the goal I've heard is to establish Bray as the next big heel, the top heel for SmackDown, and this is where Orton comes in. And Orton's job is to more or less get him over as champion. So the supposed idea is that Orton, from what I've heard, and honestly I kind of agree with it, Orton will not win the championship whatsoever. He won the Rumble. They're integrating the whole Wyatt family storyline, and this is even a weirder one. Bray is supposed to supposedly keep the belt all the way to SummerSlam, where he will have a huge rivalry with a babyface turned AJ Styles.
See, that's fantastic. That's a good idea.
Because they want to they want to make Bray the next big heel to have him set up subsequent rivalries with other babyfaces on SmackDown to elevate other babyfaces up to help, like, you know, circle out the roster and help push new guys.
Again, he's always been in that position of trying to put people over, but he's never been given that opportunity to be put over.
Right, yeah. And this is the chance, which I'm really excited for.
And he had the opportunity to be over 3 fucking years ago when he faced John Cena at WrestleMania. Do you guys remember that?
Well, now he's
even the Undertaker match. Even the Undertaker match could have.
Now he's in the hands of better writers and the Road Dogg.
Joe is right.
Imagine if the torch was handed over with Undertaker, because Undertaker's great and all. I kind of think that, again, it might be time for him to retire, because look at the guy. He's suffering when he wrestles. He's not the same as he was before, but imagine if he could have handed that torch off to Bray Wyatt to be the next Undead.
They could still do it. They could still do it. They can do it the next. If they don't do it this year, they could have done it next year. To be honest,
the next dark character.
They could have done something really unique with Bray, in a sense that if he would have beaten Undertaker at WrestleMania, he could have threw him in a coffin. They could set him on fire, and then he could have, like, you know, dumped the ashes on himself, or like drank his blood, or just something. They could have done something where he kind of took the Undertaker in.
He should have taken his soul. He should have taken his soul from his head. It'd be great. And they had if they did it at WrestleMania, they had a thing where he does this trance. He's got a book. I told you, I mentioned this before. I believe he should have this. This was about a year and a half ago. I said this. He should have a giant book with him that he comes out with. It's got, we don't know what's in the book, and the book has some sort of thing. And he knows these weird sort of
like scripture and
seances. Yeah, that he does. Yeah, exactly.
That reminds me. I have heard another rumor about WrestleMania too. Is that you know, and I don't want to spoil too much. Orton versus Bray. One of the reasons I heard Bray might retain is we might actually see the debut of Sister Abigail.
Oh, that would be a great idea.
I don't know who it is.
I don't think it's a great idea at all. That Sister Abigail should forever remain as
anonymous,
this elusive, non-corporeal type being.
Entity.
I completely agree with that.
I am sick of the talk about it. I haven't cared at all since. I mean, people have been mentioning it for 2 years, and I really haven't cared at all. If they
Well,
did
he
it
said
right,
in an
cool.
interview, like someone's like, "Oh, is Sister Abigail real?" And he goes, "Well, I don't ever say anything without any meaning or purpose behind it." So I think that, plus other things and people's speculation, have been like people have been a little bit chomping at the bit for the Sister Abigail thing. But I agree with Dave. Keep her like this like figure that we don't know or ever see. Like
to
a
be
higher
quite
power.
honest, if I'm thinking Sister Abigail, I'm literally thinking the corpse of Mae Young, because that's what I envision when it comes to
No. It's just
Sister
her
Abigail.
hand. It's just her hand.
Well, you know what it is once you see Sister Abigail after like a week or two, it's going to be retarded. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
They tried it with the fucking the lantern or whatever, Hell in a Cell between Dean and Rollins. Do you remember that
yeah,
shit?
that's right. It was like Tinkerbell was there.
Hologram?
Yeah,
It was terrible. So don't do it. Dave's right.
Well,
Just allow it to be a just an entity, an overall, just like something that looms in the background that you never see, but you feel the presence of it. Because me and Joe did a show
it's like the Undertaker urn.
Me and Joe did a show
Yeah.
like a year ago when they said there was a rumor of like fucking Paige being Sister Abigail or some
that
shit.
was so
What?
dumb.
No.
Oh, it was, dude, we tore that apart. I don't know if you remember that, Joe, when that news came out.
It was like, why? Because she looks a little goth or something? That's why?
Because she's crazy, or yeah. 'Cause
Well,
she looks
no,
goth
she's not
and
really crazy. Crazy Mary Dobson is who I thought of. I was like, well, I could see her being maybe Sister Abigail.
That would be crazy.
Has
'cause
anyone
that's what
even
shows
listened to what Bray said when he talked about Sister Abigail? He said that she took him in, that she showed him the light and stuff. Again, I don't think somebody younger than Bray Wyatt. I think somebody older.
Right.
Yeah, think about Paige cuddling.
That's
Bray
that's
Wyatt.
why he said, you said, Mae
Well,
Young's
she's
body.
liking the Mexican chorizo these days. So
Yeah.
Someone mentioned like
he
if you
likes
actually
that Spanish dick.
Call up Sarah Del Rey could be Sister
I'm
Abigail.
just picturing Bray Wyatt in a sombrero now. It's just odd.
Just call up Sarah Del Rey. Get her to dye her hair, and she'll Sister Abigail is Sarah Del Rey. She's older.
Fucking have
Sister
have
Del
Nia
Rey.
Jax be Sister Abigail.
She's not like most girls.
Yeah. Well,
that's
she
'cause
ate.
She's a dude.
She ate Sister Abigail. That's what happened. So everybody's like, I don't get how. Everyone's like, I don't get how could she could be, Sister Abigail, and like for months everyone's like mad that she's Sister Abigail, and then you come to find out.
Ate her.
Yeah, she ate her, and then Sister Abigail died, and she absorbed her. Yeah.
Yeah, Sister
First ever
Abigail died, and so did Bray Wyatt's gimmick.
First ever cannibal storyline in wrestling history.
This
Not
is all that's
cannibalism, it's
left
the ghost.
of my sister. Remember when I called the porn line and I was telling them that I wanted the girl to be my Sister Abigail? That girl was beautiful. That girl didn't want to do that. Then remember the other night when I called the adult line and the lady didn't want to be.
Just didn't want to do that.
She didn't want to be.
Well, to be fair, you said
animals.
you wanted to eat cheese out of her ass.
No, this.
yeah, but there's been so many better ones too.
Yeah, but no, this lady didn't want to do the animal thing. I said she wanted to be. I wanted her to be my pussycat, and she was like, and she wouldn't say cat.
She was very poor at taking direction too.
Yeah. Well, that's why. I mean, that's what happens. When you don't,
That's funny.
when you don't have a dad, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. No, maybe she was just freaked out from the Chuck E. Cheese story.
Oh, that's right. That was a weird story, yeah. And I was very misogynistic. Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. Do you think... I mentioned that I thought for some reason it seems like they almost want to put The Undertaker's career on the line just for the fun of it. Do you think that's going to happen? Roman Reigns versus Undertaker, career on the line? Or will this just be Undertaker saying, listen, boy, I'm the blah, blah, blah. And then Roman Reigns is like, I don't care who you are. I'm the Samoan. I mean, is that what's going to happen here?
I don't know if Taker doesn't. Taker's an odd cat because he's one of those unique people that I don't think needs the stipulation of retire to be like
He
gone.
doesn't.
But at the same time, there's been numerous times where everyone's thought this is Taker's last hurrah, and then he comes back and just magically reappears. So I'm kind of on the fence about that. I think if you put Roman versus Taker and any other matchup with Taker at WrestleMania with like anybody on the roster, and then his career's on the line, more likely than not, you're going to lean towards it being his last one. But it's really hard for me to say because they've flip-flopped so many times because Taker's career was on the line at 32.
Right. That's right. I forget. When was it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
His
Really?
career was on the line, and if Shane lost, he lost control. Shows up
yeah.
on Monday, has
Look how
control. Taker goes home.
I had no idea. I didn't even remember that. That's how
I bitched
bad.
a lot about that and got shit on, but
That's crazy.
That's why I'm like
That's
so
anything.
like they've done it now. They have because up until this point, Taker's career has never been on the line, as far as I can remember. Yeah, the only time the Taker's career has ever been on the line, as far as WrestleMania, was 32. So everyone's like, oh, it's got to be it because they've never done it before. But then Shane and but I mean, I don't know. I
completely forgot. So they can't. I mean, they can't just do that again now.
No, I honestly, Taker doesn't need it. He could just ride off in the sunset.
They'll just build it as the old dog versus the new dog, or something. Still, because Michael Cole loves being like, the dog is here. What does he say? The big dog or whatever.
The big.
How many times is he told like, say big dog? You know,
it's the big Samoan guy.
Yeah, it's real quick before we get out of here, because I know hang on.
I just want to say real quick about the Roman and Undertaker thing.
Yeah.
I hate to break the news to everybody about this, but the build they did for Braun, making him this beast, guess what's going to come of that? He's going to be fed to Roman at Fastlane. Congratulations. Way to go, WWE, on building up a monster.
Oh, yeah.
Roman Reigns, and that's to build for Roman.
To the Undertaker.
Feed him Braun to go face the Undertaker. And guess what? Undertaker's going to lose.
Yeah, it's
gonna happen. So just be ready for it.
This is
you heard it here. I'm buying and stocking up on a lot of painkillers and alcohol. So yeah, I'm preparing for it.
Yeah, I go buy a plot too, because you're gonna want to be dead
absolutely
that match.
Probably.
It absolutely is gonna happen. I mean, Braun is there because the Undertaker can't be there, because the Undertaker doesn't show up at every Raw, and it's another 60-something days to WrestleMania. So, you know, Braun is there to cover. We'll
probably see Roman versus Braun 30 more times between now and WrestleMania. Then,
right?
Yeah. Well, that's the house show for like all of the road to WrestleMania is Braun and Roman.
And we're back full circle, folks.
And he's good. Braun's been built up as this big, amazing, over-the-top beast, and he's going to be fed to Roman in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, I prefer Braun versus Taker. Seriously, like I know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would much rather because
you're like, wow, the Undertaker could actually get hurt here. Like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Is it going to be end of the Undertaker? You know, and actually, to be honest, if either one won, I would be surprised. Like, if Undertaker beat Braun and then won, I'd be like, wow, the Undertaker still was able to conquer Braun. But if Braun won, I'd be like, whoa, like, he beat the fucking Undertaker at WrestleMania. Braun Strowman is crazy. So either way.
Get so booed for that, though.
But either way, I'm surprised.
He's going to get booed no matter what, though.
Roman is going to get killed, though. Roman is
yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yes. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Justin.
Dude, you know how much enjoyment we all got last year when Roman won and beat Triple H for the title? It was amazing.
Justin, remind me, I got to send you the phone video that I took when Roman came out at 32. It is, you will think of it like a late Christmas present. You will thoroughly enjoy it.
Yes.
The Big Show and Shaquille O'Neal is actually listed on this chart too. Oh God, no.
Oh yeah,
God,
because they did that.
Be awesome.
The Andre the Giant over the because they actually did that where like all the lights went out like who oh yeah, here comes the Andre the Giant, oh this should be cool, and then Corbin came out like, oh crap, Baron Corbin's in there, that's cool, and they're like Shaq's in the Battle Royal.
Shaq paid to get in.
no
maybe
Kazam.
Maybe Shaq
Kazam.
and Kazam. Maybe Shaq just comes out there with some Gold Bond and then jerks Big Show off.
Body product you could spray.
You know what they should have done is they should have had a heel announcer, because it would have been great. The heel announcer could have been like, how much money did he pay to get in here? How can you like this guy? You know, he bought to get himself in here.
Get Barkley on commentary.
Although, to be fair, Big Show looks amazing. I'll say that much.
He looks weird
Still
with that
sucks.
beard. Well,
I didn't say his ability. I'm just saying he looks fantastic.
I would not be surprised if Shaquille O'Neal was first in the Big Show, because this is one of those WrestleManias. Doesn't it feel like it? Where in the past, you know when WrestleMania is on a downtrend, when like they have to go out and get celebrities and stuff. Like, I mean, look at WrestleMania 11. They had fucking Lawrence Taylor in the main event. This is like, this reeks of that. Like, this reeks of them. Like, we need to do something.
It's like a no, I know what you're saying. Like, it's just kind of like one of those like mediocre ones. Like, we need something to spice it up. Let's get Kazam.
Yeah.
I guarantee everybody, though, that 33 will be better than 32. I guarantee it.
It's got to be.
Maybe.
Because they're not going to have the New Day versus, what was the League of Nations in a fucking non-title match.
Is Shane going to jump off of Hell in the Cell, though? I mean, I don't know. Hell in the Cell. I mean, when I think about WrestleMania, the only thing I remember, I think, is like Stephanie getting speared and like Shane jumping off the cell. And
I remember Steph.
What else?
Ryder winning. The biggest pops of the
Ryder
night there
winning, yeah.
Ryder winning the belt, New Day's entrance, the Hell in the Cell. That was really it. There wasn't anything else that I'm just trying to think of what the other matches were.
I just remember AJ Styles and Jericho's match was not memorable. Like, it wasn't really memorable. It was like they went out there.
People were pissed that he lost.
Well, that was
Wait,
the
who
big
did
thing.
Ambrose wrestle? Was he injured?
No, and I'm trying to remember. And thank you for
wasn't he in the ladder match?
No, it was Dean versus Brock.
Oh yeah, in the weapons match.
That shit festival.
That terrible
Justin,
thing.
you can't see it, but my face is my hand is like face palming myself so hard it's going through the back of my head.
Where they basically brought out a new weapon every week on Raw that Dean could use, and then they used none of them.
Put in a red fucking wagon. That's why I veto Ambrose for the rest of the time he's ever in WWE. I'll never. Nope, never. Boring as shit. He sucks. Fuck him.
And unfortunately, Jericho and him were upset. Jericho seems a little bit sour about like how people weren't very happy with that cell match they had, that weapons match they had. And unfortunately, it just wasn't good. It wasn't a good match until the end. I give them credit. Like Jericho going into the thumbtacks was awesome. Like that ending was great. I thought the ending was beautiful, but the rest of the match really just sucked. And and that's the thing. He's like, he was kind of grumpy about it recently, and but then he talked about what he had to go through at the end of the match to try to get the fans happy, and he goes, nobody will see this coming because they won't believe that I'm going to go through the tax and do all these things in the PG time. And I do give him credit. That was true. We didn't believe it, but by the time we got there, we were also asleep.
Sorry, not my fault that they they put weapons up there in the cage that weren't used. Not my problem.
Yeah,
and dangled them from fishing line. It's stupid.
Yeah, it was. If they don't expect people to be backlash, I mean, unfortunately that match
like
wasn't that good.
Horror match they used to do in TNA. What was it? The match of horrors, or was that WCW? It was stupid. It made no sense.
Not the last rites match where you have to like elevate them in a casket and then like draw them up like freaking Frankenstein.
It was about being more visual than anything, and it's like, well, I get it. It's like, okay, it's a gimmick visually. Okay.
They were doing the Ambrose Asylum thing, and it's fucking stupid.
The Ambrose Jericho thing was based off of sheer like just tomfoolery. Like it was just them being goofy. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm all for it. But when you try to throw a serious stipulation on there, and Mitch the Potted Plant version 2 is a weapon up there, how can you take it serious?
The storyline was built from a fucking highlight reel segment.
Right.
I can take it seriously if they have a good match. Like Mitch the Potted Plant can be up there. He can even fucking use it. But if nothing else happens really, like it doesn't work. I mean, I saw Triple H versus Mankind in a street fight in front of 2,000 people, and it was awesome. And quite frankly, it ended with a potato chip shot to Mankind's head. But I mean, and then he got pedigreed. But that was fine with me because the match was way better. That alone, that night in that house show, was better than anything Dean did with Jericho and anything they did at WrestleMania with Lesnar, of course. And I know Dean said like they wouldn't let me do what I wanted to do, but I mean, or Brock wouldn't do it, and he was upset at that. And it's like, I don't know who to believe anymore. I mean, 1 minute they say that, and then they can do things, and they can't. I mean, it sucks. That match is forgettable. No one will ever remember just swinging a chair at someone's back 700 times in a WrestleMania match. No way. I mean, how many times did Bret Hart and Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13? They used a chair maybe 2 or 3 times. They had a chair involved, and every single time it was used, it seemed like brutality.
Yep.
It seemed like a guy was getting his head taken off by a chair. I mean, a shot to the back. One to the side. I think someone went onto the chair, and then that was it. And everything else. I mean, those guys. They had a cord for a video camera. I mean, that match to me is like hardcore. I think of Austin bleeding all over the place, and it's like they didn't even have thumbtacks. They didn't have any of that stuff. It was a
submission match.
Right. That match comes off more hardcore than the Jericho and Dean match or the Brock Lesnar Dean match, and yet they did not even close to what you would expect. The match was just so good. But that was
just a sword fight too. That Lesnar and Ambrose match. That's all that was.
It was a stupid sword fight. And Jericho, I give him credit for going through those tacks and what they did at the end. I thought the end was great, and I was surprised. I was like, whoa, they actually did it. I didn't expect it. So they accomplished that goal, but they did not accomplish the goal of a great match. They accomplished the goal of a great shock at the end, and that's all there is to it. I'm sure everybody wants to get out of here at this point because it's been about an hour. We could come back. We could do this. We'll do this again. I'm going to try to I'm doing State of the WWE every week now, regardless.
Sweet.
So we'll see if we can get back again next week. But I want to thank Connor from OKFabe. Go subscribe to him on YouTube. Go subscribe to Justin Bailey, the Best There Is podcast on YouTube as well. And thank you to Dave Rose for coming today and for all of us to come by. Anybody have any final comments before we get out of here? I know there's more of the card we'll cover maybe later. But anything else anybody's hearing or thinking about?
It's just going to be an interesting time. I'll just say that. That's the most neutral statement I could probably make about WrestleMania season this time.
They might give us a lot to talk about. I mean, I'll tell you that. And when they do bad, we do good. So I mean, not that I want it to do bad, but
I'll just say that, like I said, I don't think it'll be as bad as 32. But if we could get something in comparison to like WrestleMania 31, I'll be happy because I think that was a good show. So if we could just have something better than last year, and either better or as good as 31, I'll be happy.
I even like 30 better than most of this stuff. I mean, the Daniel Bryan thing. Granted that he was the whole show, but...
Well, yeah, because that whole show was built off of that storyline, you know. That's what everybody was there for. But yeah, I think that this show will definitely be better than 32. So I'm interested in seeing what they do.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for listening. Hit me up on my new Twitter account at Joe Cronin JCS. And check these guys out on their YouTube channels. You're going to like it. And enjoy the Super Bowl. I'll be covering the Super Bowl today as well, so look for that.
Go Falcons.
Well, fuck you. Hey, listen, as a Patriots fan, I really am. I want the Patriots to win, but if I was a football fan, I would bet Falcons. They're a juggernaut offense.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm sorry. But I hope Tom Brady wins and then he smiles. Because he's got this big white smile. I hope he smiles like a big grinning smile and Goodell just poops his pants. All right, State of the WWE 71. It's done. It's been months since we've done one, so go back and watch the other ones if you haven't. More coming weekly, usually on Sundays. Bye-bye.